Hi, I've been having technical difficulties. We're gonna keep going. Keep rolling with it. This might end up being moved to the bloopers if it continues to act up the way it's been. Where I was recently interrupted at originally, I was in the middle of explaining how D&D works. D&D, like I said, use the skills, and whatever you roll on the dice, that's how good of a result you get. Like I rolled a 19, that's basically means I get like almost the best possible outcome. I did really good, like really good, and in theory, you know what I mean? Like if I'll give you an example, like if I were to be shooting at like a bullseye, like as an archer or something like that, and like just as a shot, not as like an actual combat. If I rolled like a 19 on like the aiming, the acrobat, whatever the DM or GM, the manager of the game, tells me to roll or decides the roll is going to be. Excuse me. And for instance, if it's like I said, that one, if I roll a 19, basically it means I get in like the bullseye, but like not dead center. I get in the bullseye, you know, like it's still there. It's still in like perfect, but it's not like perfect. A 20 would be more like, oh, it went right through the middle of the bullseye, and it went straight through the back end of it somehow, because it was like that perfect of a shot. You know what I mean? Like it's cinematically, when like a 20, it's like the best cinematic possible outcome for the character. Yeah, like over the top stuff that shouldn't happen, in my opinion. I think that's when that happens. Also, sometimes you can just go for broke and be like, I need a 20, I'm gonna shoot for it, and sometimes that happens. A lot of times it doesn't. And if you roll on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you roll a 1, the worst possible outcome happens. Like, I rolled a 1 in a game once, and my character's weapon broke, and then I think I rolled another 1. Oh yeah, I think I had disadvantage. Or was it advantage or disadvantage? One of the two. On a roll, so which means I rolled 2 of the dice, and both my dice rolled a 1. The odds of that, I'm pretty sure, are like, I don't know. I remember doing the math at one point, but I'm not gonna do it now. I've had that happen before. I've had a 20 and a 1 happen on the same roll before, and I've had a 2 20s happen on the same roll before. Crazy. I ran around like a buffoon on the 2 20s, man. I couldn't keep myself together. I'm being stupid now. Basically anything you want to try and do in D&D, you can do it. 20, you can do it. You just gotta figure out a way to get there. It's typically in a fantasy setting, but it can be used anywhere. It's a great like port for any kind of game, really, any tabletop game. So a lot of times, like, there'll be other kind of D&D settings, like not fantasy, well, not Hobbit fantasy. Like I've done a Star Wars D&D, I've done a Pokemon D&D. What else have I done? Fallout D&D. Regular D&D, like fantasy setting D&D. So you can do a lot with it. It's up to the person's imagination, and I think that's one of my favorite games ever. And let's get to reading you that in a second, the last thing. I'm going to read you this one, and then I might roll a little bit more dice, and then I'm going to read you one more, and then it's off to bedtime for both of us. Alrighty. Owl bears. Deadly ferocity. Stubborn and ferocious, nothing frightens away an owl bear. They will keep fighting long after a more sensible creature would have run away. They also have multi-attack. These dangerous creatures can attack twice in the same time it takes most monsters to strike once, biting with their sharp beaks and slashing with their deadly claws all at the same time. Size: owl bears are slightly larger than a grizzly bear, weighing more than 500 pounds and standing about 3.5 feet tall. When on all fours, they are almost 7 feet long and tower over humans and even elves when standing on their hind legs. Part giant owl, part enormous bear. These vicious creatures are like deadly, densely muscled. Wow. We're gonna start that over entirely. All right, ready? Part giant owl, part enormous bear. These vicious creatures are densely muscled and covered in thick feathers. Their owl-like faces feature large, piercing eyes and a sharp beak, ready to tear apart the soft flesh of its prey. No one knows if these strange beasts were created by nature or magic, but everyone knows to steer clear when they're on the prowl. That's a fun word, prowl. 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 I should sleep. Emerging at night, owl bears hunt alone or in mated pairs. Scouring around their lair for fresh food, they are intelligent enough to know their hunting grounds, using their awful screeches and hoots to drive prey into areas from which there is no escape. Owl bears are difficult to control, although with enough food, time, and luck, they can be trained to perform basic tasks. Goblins sometimes employ them as war mounts, while hill and frost giants favor them as pets. Even tamed, these creatures are unpredictable and dangerous, quick to turn on their masters if food runs low. Their lair. Owl bears make their dens in caves or ruins littered with the bones of their prey. These foul lairs give off the stench of blood and death, attracting the other predators to the area. Their nocturnal hunting patterns mean their dens may be left empty during the darkest hours of the night. Which is kind of cool. It's like a plot kind of thing. Like, oh, you go into a den, it's completely empty, but there's like food and whatever, blah, 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 blah. It smells awful, but you need to stay there because it's terrible, like something, blah, blah, blah. Sun comes up. You go to leave. Owl bear goes to come home. Fight. Roll for initiative. Maybe. I'm scrolling. If there's anything that really deserves my sleepy brain. I'm also very sorry that I have to upload this in 2 parts, not 1, 2. It cut off in the middle of the first one. My phone's just being stupid. I don't think it literally was my issue, like my fault. Normally I'm quick to blame human error, especially my own. However, this is technology. this is technical error on the technology part. Just, sometimes technology don't be cooperating the way we want it to, the way we ask it to, the way we expect it to, the way we program it to. Technology just doesn't have a back to that. But if you're listening if you're listening to me right now, which you are, I love you. Thanks, technology. Ah, screw it. We're going to this blah, 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 blah. Alright, this is going to be a fun one. Alright, special power. Oh, I should probably tell you what it is first. Alright, share with the class. We have the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon. The Gorgonzola. Special powers. Demogorgon can use its huge tentacles or tail to grab heroes and smash them. He can also, why is it a he? He can also cast powerful magic spells, but his most, I'm still confused why he's a he. I don't know, okay. What are we learning here? But most of his potent, wow. See, but most of his potent abilities come from the glowing eyes of his twin ape heads. With just a glance, Demogorgon can cause heroes to stop in their tracks. Or go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Or go crazy. Beguiling gaze. Stuns you so you can't move or think as long as you're staring at him. Hypnotic gaze. Lets Demogorgon take control, making you do whatever he chooses if your mind isn't strong enough to resist. So you probably just have to roll a wisdom saving throw. Maybe with disadvantage. Insanity gaze. Unravels your mind so your thoughts don't make any sense. Confused and dizzy, you won't be able to attack or communicate with anyone else. Alright, size. Demogorgon is 18 feet tall, which means he could look into the second story window of a multi-story house. Each of his tentacles is wider than your whole body. Freaky. And his 8 mouths are large enough to bite you in half without even chewing. He big. Lair. Demogorgon lives in a strange other dimension called the Abyss. I love the idea of like multi-dimensional beings and like multi-dimensional. That just stuff is just so cool to me. In planes of existence, realms. It's so fun. Such a neat concept. Super neato. The Abyss, sorry. Demogorgon lives in a strange other dimension called the Abyss. The Abyss is a shifting and turbulent place of war and insanity, where only the most powerful adventurers could even have a chance to survive, let alone triumph. The Abyss is broken up into more than 600 layers of dangerous land, some of them without any ground to walk on, others without any air to breathe. On the abyssal layer, called the Gaping Maw, Demogorgon's fortress is partially submerged in dark and deadly water. Traveling to the Abyss and confronting Demogorgon directly is almost impossible for anyone less than the most epic of heroes. Most battles with Demogorgon take place elsewhere, when the Prince of Demons chooses to travel to other worlds. So he's the Prince of Demons? Is that why he's a he? Because they wanted to be like a... I know y'all aren't gonna get this like reference, but I'm gonna make it anyway. This guy, he just looks like something from Blood Bowl. Yeah, I know y'all don't know what that is. It's another tabletop game. However, they made it into a video game, and you can do like mutations and whatnot. And there's a certain like, I think the Chaos Team, is it? You just look it up if you want to know that bad. The Chaos Team. There's like a few guys that look kind of like him in terms of like the feet, the leggies, and whatnot, and they can get mutations. You can add a mutation, and depending on which mutation it is, they kind of just look like tentacles. Some of them are just straight up tentacles, and they can also grow a second head. So I nailed it in terms of reference. I know it's not a good reference, but like it's spot on. Like, seriously, look it up. Just like Blood Bowl 2 mutations. And you'll probably see something look like that. Alright, now for the ceremonious reading, and then some rolling and some dice, and I'm going to sleepy sleep. That's cute. Demogorgon. 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 Doesn't count. Was it 17? Let's go. Demogorgon is a horrific. Let me a mustache for this. Okay. Demogorgon is a horrific demon prince who epitomizes the forces of chaos. His massive body is a warped mixture of different creatures all jammed together. The feet, the legs, and the tail of a dinosaur, I guess. The tentacles of a giant octopus. The upper body of an ape with a pair of disturbing ape-like heads mounted on top, hungry and roaring. Demogorgon is one of the most dangerous creatures anywhere. A battle with him is either the well-planned culmination of a massive quest, or a suicidal fool's run that ends of annihilation. Demogorgon embodies madness and destruction, and he constantly works to destroy order and goodness in the universe. The turmoil around Demogorgon helps empower him, but it's also a source of weakness. His two heads, named Hathrodaya, I'm confident in that one, and Amule. Amule and Hathrodaya constantly argue about how best to destroy his foes. As his evil plans shift and change, it's hard to raise an army and plunge the world into chaos when your own two heads can rarely agree on how best to do it. Thank you for watching. This is probably about 40 minutes worth of me doing this now. We're close to, maybe 30-ish actually. Third time's the charm, I guess. It's gonna be 2 videos. This is the second one. It's all one kind of video, like whatever. If y'all like this, let me know. I'll keep doing it. I like reading a little bit, like out loud. It's kind of fun. If I can do the gravelly voice thing, that's also fun. Because I'm pretty sure that's fairly enjoyable to listen to. Hell, I might just sound cringe. If y'all enjoy this, let me know. If you want anything different than this, let me know. If you want any sort of thing in particular, you know what, let me know. I'll at the very least consider it. At the very least, I'll consider it. Thank you all for watching. Good night, and we're gonna sleep real good tonight. Me and you both. Sweet dreams.